So welcome to our April 2025 State TA Day call. It's good to see everybody. Been beautiful weather around Denver, Aurora the past couple of weeks. So everyone's enjoying this like actual spring, the 2 weeks of spring that we get. So we have, we might get out of here a little bit early, but every time I say that, we end up staying right until time. So we will see, and we're going to kick it off today. Sandy, are you on? Sorry, I know I said.
Hi, yes, I am here.
Okay.
I don't have my camera on because I've been having some weird issues with my computer lately. So I apologize. But hi, my name is Sandy Basulto. I am a 211 supervisor. I oversee our child care resource and referral line. So we connect with providers and any centers that are calling us, or even families that are looking for help with finding quality childcare. And so I wanted to share and connect with you all that we do have the ability to update provider availability. So I just wanted to come on and share that reminder with you all. If providers have any help with wanting to open up slots and update that in Salesforce, we are able to do that for them. They can go ahead and give us a call to our Colorado Shines line where we can connect and help them do that. Or if they're kind of limited on time, they can always shoot us a text message. Just text CC open to 898-211. And we can text them back and forth to make sure that that availability is updated for them. I do have a little flyer I will share. I'm just finishing up some details on it, but I will post it into this chat once that's finished.
Can you also, Sandy, do you mind putting the text number, what you just said, as well as the number to call to have the center update their availability in the chat?
Yes, definitely. And we have the text option, we have a call option. They're also able to chat us, and if they wanted to, they can also send us a direct email. So I'll make sure that all that information is posted in the chat.
Awesome.
That's all I had. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions? Or I know that's a message that we get on the help desk sometimes is, you know, how do we update our availability? And I didn't realize that you could do that for them. So I appreciate that. And I will make sure to send that information when we get those requests on our end as well.
Of course. Thank you.
Thanks. All right. Christina.
Thank you, Charles. Hello again. I'm Christina Herman, the FFN Administrator of the Colorado of Early Childhood. I am pleased to invite you again to the FFN Advisory Council meeting the 8th of May from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. I will share in the chat the details of our invitation. Let me copy and paste. We have interpretation in Spanish and Arabic language at this time. And in this meeting, we'll go to discuss about the importance of supporting the mental and emotional well-being of the FFM providers. Also, Aldria Mann, who is here with us, will share information about nature play at home as a training opportunity in El Paso County. I will share the invitation of the FFN newsletter when you can share anything with the FFN community through sending me email or text or call phone. Thank you so much. And I ask you, please spread the word about this meeting, because it is how the FFN community can raise their voices to our states. Thank you.
Right. Any questions for Christina? Christina, you can receive professional development training hours for attending these courses?
Um, yes, but it depends if the organization who deliver the courses did the compliant with the PDIS competency.
Awesome. Cool. Great to know. Any questions? All right. Right. We really are we're moving right along today. I feel like I don't want to say anything. All right, Bonnie, take it away.
Hello. All right. I was going to say my updates are probably quick too, Charlie. So let's see. I say that. There might be a lot of questions. So, hi, my name is Bonnie Rouse. Get my presentation shared. I am the stimulus grants manager here at the department. I know many of you. I am filling in for Christy Rustler today with our E&E updates. I want to preface this by we have like financial updates regarding invoices and some contracting updates. So if you are not the person for your council to do this work, please either take good notes and send them to that person, or please tell them to watch this part of the recording. It's like 1:10 right now is where they can start. So anyways, we'll go ahead and get started with our invoices. We still have a handful of invoices from the 2024 calendar year, not necessarily the state fiscal year, that we need to get caught up on. I know there was that pause with the data system transition to Salesforce, but we want to make sure we get those paid out as quickly as possible. Ultimately, it's important for us that you guys get paid as well. The second update we have, and I know Christy has sent out emails about this, is we have had to update our invoice template for E&E multiple times in the last few months, and it's getting to the point where we've sent so many emails out, we're concerned they're going to get lost, or it's confusing, or it'll get kicked back from fiscal when you submit that invoice. And we want to, once again, ensure you guys get paid as quickly and as efficiently as possible. So what we've done is we've shared our invoice folders with you. The most up-to-date invoice template is going to be in that folder. So rather than trying to dig through your emails, if you can just click on that link to the folder, then you'll see the most up-to-date template right at the top. We also have a folder in there with your archived invoice templates if you need those, but most likely you won't. So we just want to make sure you have the most up-to-date invoices, that you're submitting those, and that we can get you paid out quickly. Sound good? There we go. There's some thumbs up. Awesome. Thanks, guys. So then I also want to update you guys on our E&E contract amendments. So this only applies to a handful of councils, but if you are increasing your indirect rate per the new federal guidelines up to that 15%, Christy has sent you a very detailed email instructing you how to estimate your budget through the end of this fiscal year, and then what your budget will look like moving forward with the new 15% indirect rate. So we're asking that you work on those and get them back to us as quickly as possible. I know Christy is available for one-on-one meetings with you guys if that would be helpful, but I just want to make sure you're aware that you're following those instructions, and then please reach out to us if you have any questions or issues. And then finally, once again, just a reminder, we have office hours to provide technical assistance on all of this. It's on Wednesdays from 10 a.m. to 10:50 a.m. And once again, if this time doesn't work for you, if you need some one-on-one support, always feel free to reach out to Christy and or myself, and we're happy to sit down with you guys and work through anything else that may come up, because while E&E should be easy by this point, it is still quite the beast of a program. So thank you guys for your support. That is all I've got, Charlie.
Any questions for Bonnie? And just FYI, we are realizing that when you're generating like a summary report, or when you're generating your billing report in Salesforce right now, what generates for you is a summary report, but not the spending or the coaching report. So we are currently working on a workaround to get that report available so you can submit that with your invoices as backup documentation, and to ultimately have those 3 separate Excel documents generated similar to TSQI. So if you're only seeing the summary report, that's why. And we are going to get those instructions and the actual report for the coaching and spending reports out ASAP. All right. Any other E&E questions? Cool. All right. Thanks so much, Bonnie. I see Marika here. Hello.
Charlie. Hi, everyone. I'm going to share a screen here. We have a slide deck. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. It's nice to see you all. It's been a while for me and a while for Megan, perhaps too. So my name is Marika Padilla. I am currently the Family Resource Center Program Manager here at CDEC. I'm here with Megan Moore, my colleague from my PDG days. And we are here to share an update on some work that we shared with you all in 2023 and 2024. So the Preschool Development Grant, local organizational capacity supporting families with infants and toddlers work wrapped up right around a year ago. We held our final statewide convening in April in Colorado Springs, and we are here to share with you all today a video evaluation on the work. So again, just a quick reminder, the work started in 2023 with the regional in-person convenings across the state, and we focused on strengthening families and providers in the context of infants and toddler support. This topic for this work came from a statewide survey we sent to local community organizations, school districts, early childhood councils, LCOs, FRCs, Head Starts, to try to find out what it is that folks are interested in receiving supported in their communities. And overwhelmingly, the topic of supporting families with infants and toddlers rose to the top. So we hosted events across the state. Each event held up to 4 local teams. The teams had 2 to 3 organizations working together. Some came to the table for the first time at the convening, which was really exciting to see. And then they created a plan for implementing a strategy or multiple strategies that will enhance the coordination of their communities' early childhood programming, and specifically supporting families with infants and toddlers. Again, we held those wonderful in-person convenings. Many of you here on the call were part of this work. So still, that is a shining light in my time here at CDEC, seeing all you all coming together and working with your communities. And in these regional convenings, teams received facilitation from 2 infant toddler network specialists from the State Capacity Building Center at the federal level, and the teams began their planning processes. They also received ongoing support throughout their planning period, which stretched from when the convening was held to April of last year. And then again, we held that wonderful statewide convening where all the teams came together, shared their plans, reflected on lessons learned, and celebrated each other's successes. Here is just a quick map on the counties that were represented in this work. So here's the different convenings are highlighted in 4 different colors. So we were able to gather together if I remember correctly, 19 out of the 64 counties in Colorado were part of this work. So we had a great convening with 14 grantee teams, and great work were done by everyone. Here's just a slide with lots and lots of text, but we'll share these slides with you all in the notes so you can see the teams that were part of this work. But we had 65 different types of local organizations who came together and worked as a team in their community. Again, 14 teams, 64 local organizations. So we had a great turnout for this work. And with that, I'm going to pass it to Megan.
Thanks, Marika. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Megan Moore, as Marika mentioned. So on this slide, you can see just a couple of examples of what the teams were able to spend their mini grant funding on and some of their deliverables. So when we send these slides out, you'll be able to click on the links if you are curious to learn more. A couple of communities chose to spend their funds to do a very local needs assessment. So building off of the statewide needs assessments and things that we have, but just to learn even more specifics in their local communities. So ECPAC, Archuleta, and Fremont are linked here. And then, oh yeah, Stacy, we will change the team lead since that switched. I forgot that switched halfway through this work. Thanks for flagging that. And then Weld County held kind of their own local regional kind of convening. It was an early childhood conference and resource fair in Weld County for their county, and I was able to attend that. That was really fun. Some resources were created, like, for example, Douglas County created informational magnets to send with all individuals giving birth in their county to get connected to more resources for infants and toddlers in their area. And then a number of teams focused their funds on training. So EQIT or infant toddler CPR or training on perinatal mood and anxiety disorders. Those are some examples. So really awesome, incredible work spanning across all of these teams. And so with this, we were able to contract with a video production company and make a set of videos. So Marika can go to the next slide. So we have like 4 regional specific videos that kind of, we tried to select a team from each of the regional convening areas. And then we also created just like an overall evaluation video that kind of has snippets from all communities. So we're going to show you the overall evaluation video today. It's less than 5 minutes. It's short. And then so as are all of these. And so if you would like to see the more regional specific videos, you'll have those links and can see those. And it's really exciting to just talk about the importance of supporting families with infants and toddlers across the state and how communities really see that need impacting their local families and their local region. So this was such a fun project and really, really cool to see this representation. And then instead of making a 1-pager or a brief, we decided to do videos since we have done so many of those resources in the past. So we're going to go to the next slide and share the video. It starts with no sound and then it goes into sound. So give it a couple seconds and then let us know if you have trouble hearing it. There are so many different communities that we engaged with in Colorado, and they differ from one another in geography and population and demographic, but they all struggle with the same things. They struggle with the cost of infant toddler care. They struggle with needing wraparound care. They struggle with their economy, that parents have to leave their jobs to stay home to care for their children.
Communities feel like the role for the mom is to stay home with their infant or toddler. It's like, oh, you elected to have a child. Now, good luck rearing them. And it's impossible when you're living in an economy that requires 2 working parents to be able to support their child.
If we can't support families with infants and toddlers as they grow, is that's such a vital, critical age range for setting the stage for the rest of life.
Our passion is to grab hold. And if they've had problems 0 to 3, 0 to 5, we can hopefully grab on to those emotional needs and get those turned around by the time they enter kindergarten. And that's a lot of pressure on us. It's a lot of training, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of burnout.
This field it's not easy. Work is heavy and there are lots of challenges. And what really inspires me is watching people move through these hurdles, find ways, problem solve, work together. The purpose of the Preschool Development Grant Local Organizational Planning Mini Grant is to support local organizations, help them increase their connectivity and efficacy.
I had not planned on applying for the grant, and then we had a large quality infant toddler care program announce to their families that they were closing. As soon as we had received the grant, people came out of the woodwork. They were like, we want to be a part of this too.
Mini grants help to spark the momentum. It gives us that little extra push that sometimes we need. We can say, hey, look what this, this infusion of funds from CDEC has done for us. Can you sustain that, right? Our local government partners, our local funders. So it really helps us to leverage those local dollars as well.
So participating in this funding opportunity was really vital because it allowed us the space to actually think through these things. I think so often organizations get in a space where it's really just about making the wheels turn. But when you have funding that supports the ability to sit and have conversation, to build strategy, it makes all the difference in the world. And the Early Childhood Council was able to bring us all to the table.
We have a commonality across all of the teams we worked with is there are incredible champions working on this across the state of Colorado. There are so many people dedicated to solving this issue and coming together to do different research and compile data and make reports and show the rest of the country and the state what can be done.
The hope lies in those that have the passion for early childhood. All of us in this community in the Early Childhood Council and with CDEC, we're on the ground fighting for us. That's where the hope is.
We can support families to have better interactions, to have better social support, to have better economic support. We create a stage that propels kids forward in a way that sets them up for life in ways that would be detrimental if those things didn't exist for them.
Okay, thanks for watching. I'm sure some of you saw yourself in the videos. It's so fun to think back, and also because of just how clearance processes work, it feels like this was a million years ago. So it's fun to see it again. So thanks for watching. Just wanted to mention the future of this work. We're presenting today. As you can see, we presented at the Infant Toddler Child Care Task Force earlier this month. We plan to attend the ECLC PQAA subcommittee meeting in May. We're sending these out in newsletters. We're really hoping that the communities involved in this work, and even if you weren't, can use these in your efforts to advocate for infant toddler funding. If your local legislators are, asking for data or different stories, we think these could be great tools that you could use. These have been fully cleared, and everyone has signed off on them, so you are able to use them for efforts that could advance the work of your council. And so I just wanted to point out that a focus on increasing infant toddler capacity does remain a priority of the governor, but Colorado has not been awarded the renewal grant for Preschool Development Grant moving forward. That's a federal grant. We applied last year and did not receive that award, as some of you know. But we do remain hopeful that there will be opportunities to continue this important work through PDG if that funding becomes available again. With the current state of things at the federal level, there's a lot of uncertainty if that bucket of funding will be made available to states again. So we're kind of in this waiting period, but that's not the only bucket of funds that can support infant toddler work. So continually looking for other opportunities to apply for and send your way if we hear about anything. So just know that we'd love to continue this important work, and we know that everything that we do starts with the very youngest community members. So keeping infant toddler work at the forefront of our minds. That's all we have for you today. Here are email addresses if you have any questions. Thank you for letting us join, and we'll make sure you get the slides so you can see the videos, share the videos, and access some of the other resource links that are also included here.
Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Marika. Thank you. Yeah, amazing work we were able to get done this year, and I know we'll be able to continue the the value of the work going forward, and we'll find ways to ensure that this important work continues. That's what we do. We're very resilient like that as a community. So we really appreciate you joining today and presenting that. The video was amazing. All right. Danielle, you there?
I am here.
Hello.
Hello, that was quick. That came to me pretty quick. I don't know if my camera's turning on or not. There I am. Okay. Hello, everyone. Just going to give you a few updates that we've had. So we had a release over the weekend. There were a few updates in there, some fixes in there. The ENI summary fields, you may have noticed, we're not summing on the budget summary. That has been corrected. And discounts apply to the discount field was not applying to all of the spending details. So that has been updated and released, and providers were not able to view attachments through their portal. They can now view the attachments on their portal. That was released over the weekend. We do have some hot fixes coming up. Pretty excited for some of them, and I'm sure you guys will be too. One of them is to purchasing or spending through the system. One of we found where spending requests were not making it to the vendor, and this was due to the name length of the spending name. So we needed to, we wanted to incorporate all of the requests that were needed in the spending detail, in the spending name. We wanted to honor that, but it made the name too long. So it was failing when it was sending over to the vendors. That fix will be released May 1st, I do believe is the date. I will send out chatter when that has been updated. So the purchase order will still have the same spending name, but there will be another field on the PO that shortens it so it can make it over to the vendor, and you'll still be able to search up spending names within Salesforce. If you do have spending this week that providers are sending over and you are approving, please shorten that spending name for now. You do have permissions to edit that field. Keep the licensing number in it. You can take out the spending, the SP, you can take out the spaces and the dashes, and the funding stream, just making it a little bit shorter to ensure that it goes over once you approve that spending request. Another one was they're in the work with it. They have found the root cause and now are working with the development team, and all of the vendors are working with the development team. And as the error due to the amount of items in the cart, I know that was a really big one. They have finally found what's causing that, and it is going to be working one-on-one with each vendor. It was an URL issue. So that will be fixed. Hopefully that one is a little bit of a longer fix just because the development team does have to work with each marketplace vendor. And as soon as that's complete, I will let you know. I'm very excited about those two because I know those were two big issues with spending. The next hot fix that's going to come out is going to be related to the spending details, the sum of the details not matching the totals, not automatically summing it. So that detail is going to, that update is going to get fixed, and that will fix a few things on invoicing. On that summary report, it will break it down and break it down by infant, toddler, preschool, and those areas will be matching because the spending details will sum. While we're speaking the spending details, spending details do need to be opened and reviewed for multiple reasons. Right now, they need to make sure that they are matching, that the sum of the spending details match the sum of the total and subtotal. And they weren't automatically summing it. And so if those do not match, you may be overspent, and we don't want anyone to have invoices that are higher than what they should have approved. So you do have to open those spending details, review them. Even after the fix comes through, you just always want to double check and also make sure that they are approval expenses. So right now, please make sure that you are checking your spending details for each spending before you approve it, so you're not left with any surprises when they do not match. So those are some of the fixes, and I wanted to show you a quick little preview. I'm very excited for some enhancements that are coming out next fiscal year, and one of it is just a more clear process of approving. So I'm going to share my screen. I didn't make a slide to share out of this because I'm sure we might make some changes, but I did want to give you a quick overview. It's just a much clearer process of where spending requests and approvals are at. So I will share my screen quickly. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so once a provider has opened or a program has opened a spending request, you will see it in draft up here. So this is the new part, is that we'll have a field on the very top that will show you along, where it's at in the process and what it's waiting on. So right now, this one is in draft. And then once it's in draft, you'll have that green check mark and if they've submitted it and it's ready to start reviewing. So right now it's waiting on the QI Navigator approval. You will still make your way over to Related, but that action confusing button is gone, and you can make your way over to Related and approve or reject this request. That will then move it on to the grant lead. And you'll see that up there. It's going to let you know you're waiting for grant lead approval. The grant lead will then pivot over to Related and approve it. I didn't take a screenshot of that one. It already went. So it is waiting for the grant lead approval. Once it has gone through the grant lead approval, you will also mark it as ready for billing. I went too fast in that one that way. So the grant lead will approve it on there, and then they will go and update it once it's ready for billing, and it will show you that it's ready for billing. Once you have generated your summary report and it's billed to funder, this one will go blue next to it, showing you that arrow that it has been billed to funder. You can cancel and reject it anytime, and it will show you that it's canceled and rejected. So it's just a quick hop in, see where everything's at, see where it's waiting at, and just a much easier process to look through. And it will be also the same for coaching. So approving coaching and approving spending request will look the same, and you'll be able to open it and kind of see where it's at and what it's waiting on. So I'm very excited for that, and that will come out with our enhancements in June. I know I said that really fast. I kind of speak very, very fast, and I don't slow down. I'm working on that. But if you do have any questions, please let me know. And as well, please come to our office hours. We have them once a week on Thursdays besides State TA Day. You can join us there and bring any questions, or if they're more one-offs, then I'm always happy to schedule a time to meet one-on-one.
Danielle, Pam had a question.
Yeah.
Aaron answered it. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
is the length
sorry.
of the spending name impacting all vendors or specific ones? I think
Yes,
it's
all vendors.
everybody. Cool.
Well, that's
All right.
one
Any
page.
questions? Yeah,
Charlie, I
please
just want
do.
to say, kudos to Danielle and Lilith and team. I have appreciated their attention and responsiveness to anything that I have brought forward. So wanted to just say I appreciate it and have other people hear that.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Lisa.
Lisa.
Thank you,
Yes,
Lisa.
yeah, I don't think there's anybody else who would be able to be tackling this the way you are, Danielle. So your grace and patience and ability to move forward and support everyone the way you are is amazing.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
And super excited for next year because I think we know the way it's supposed to work now. And I think, this year was a big learning experience, which we knew it was going to be, but it's one thing when you talk about it versus when you're in the middle of it, experiencing it. So, nothing is a failure, or nothing is, a failure if you learn something from it. So even though we've had some challenges this year, I don't think there's been anything that we haven't learned something from and have moved forward in a more efficient, smarter way because of it. So thank you all for your patience in that process, change management, and we will continue to move forward. All right, we are down here at the end. Just a few announcements from the QRIS team. Just a reminder that we're getting to the end of the fiscal year. We're going to ask that all invoices be submitted by July 7th, if at all possible. If you're going to need an extension or anything, please chat with your QRIS coordinator about that. But we're really hoping to get everything in to get it wrapped up for this fiscal year. Already chatted about checking spending details. And I believe, Karen, you're going to give a quick update as well.
Yeah, Charlie, did you want to mention anything about the dashboards that we're working on getting those a little bit more accessible for folks? Just the spending details on the dashboards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're working to modify it so we have that information more readily available. Give any feedback, send any feedback our way. Just that's also a change. We want these dashboards to be helpful and productive for you. So if they're not giving you information that you think you're needing, or you think they're missing something, or it's too much information or whatever, please give us feedback on those.
Yeah. We kind of learned that you didn't see all of the spending details. It wasn't rendering very well. And so you need some additional access, and we're working on that. But if you need more immediate access to those, just reach out to your coordinator, because Tyne's been working with us to get those opened up for you guys. So again, thanks for the feedback, because that's what helps us figure out what we need to do next. Appreciate it. Anything else, Charlie, before I jump in on the WIG stuff?
Nope, I don't think so.
Well, we were very speedy today, so looks like we might give you guys some time back. So I wanted to do just a quick highlight update on the WIG goals that I about every other time we do a presentation for you guys, and we had one last month and shared some of that data. You always can refer back to those slides or reach out to me. I'm happy to share them. Today, I just wanted to give an update. We've been working with the Gov's office for about, oh gosh, it feels like forever, but about a month for next year's goals. And so the quality goal is very, very high on the radar. And we will be retaining that. We're going to do some adjustments with our goal itself, just because we want to make sure that it's attainable, but still a stretch. So we're going to just be looking at, like, versus a 5% growth, we were probably looking at a 2 to 3% growth. And then also we're going to continue to follow councils who are just a little below that statewide average. Some of you will stay the same, some of you might fall off, some of you might add on. So we'll be in touch with you guys on that, and we'll be able to share more information. So we'll continue to follow that. We will also continue to follow the MOU successes. And I think I mentioned last month, we're working on some reporting for you guys. So I got to see a little bit of a mock-up earlier this week, and I think we're getting real close to be able to get you a regular report of your MOUs and your, you know, your 18-month mark and your 24-month mark to help you just manage that a little bit easier. It's one of the beauties of having all of our data in one system. So we'll continue to follow that. Two things that we're adding this year. And one of them is just around our alternative pathway process. We're going to be looking at that, whether, you know, how effective it's been. So it's kind of an evaluation measure, and whether or not we need to make changes to get more of our large providers who have multiple locations engaged in that, specifically our school districts, and also looking at other, you know, any other accreditations that are in the state. Although Michelle does an incredible job with this work, we're looking to see if it could use some enhancements. So we're excited to be able to share information with you as that kind of unfolds. And then one other one we're going to be following is just our whole application process with, you know, when a provider submits their application for ratings. And so we'll kind of be following that a little bit just to get better averages, so we know what our capacity is and we can start to do forecasting, because we know what we probably have coming up are some of those UPP providers who haven't engaged previously, who really want to engage due to the rules indicating they can maintain those higher ratios. And we want to prep for the possibility of what that might look like here in the next 2 years. So as, again, we're not real sure what the data is going to tell us, and but we're starting to look at it, and we're also starting to clean some things up. So we found a handful. I'm not going to say the data is bad. There's a handful of applications out there that were sitting out there since, honestly, in 2023 that never got scheduled, and we're reversing those out. So in case you hear anything about that. And then we're working with the Clayton team on a handful more that have just been sitting out there. We're having a hard time getting a hold of providers. So we're just wanting to find out, was it an error that they, you know, submitted? Do they need to be reversed? So really, we're only talking about 20 applications, so it's not a huge issue, but it's, you know, those are the types of things we'll be looking at to get things cleaned up. It's going to be able to give us just a better viewpoint into how many applications are coming in. So we're going to track that and how long it's taking to actually get them scheduled. I do know right now we have 180 applications that are scheduled right now through November, so that's good. And we got, like, I think our average right now is around 25 applications per month. So we'll continue as we learn more and digging into the data more. We'll definitely share that information with you. So, and Stacy, I am not sure yet. This is kind of originating in the universal preschool space, but I imagine that there will be some opportunities for work groups, and definitely will keep you or anyone else who's interested to get engaged in that. So thank you for asking that question. Other questions you guys might have? Cool. Well, Charlie, you want to close us out?
Yeah, I guess any other final thoughts, or, you know, any other questions or anything while we have some extra time?
Yeah, happy to just open up the floor for you guys too.
Yes, Lisa.
So I have the ongoing question that I have still has to do with the number of decimal places to the right of the decimal within the system, that even when a provider enters a reimbursement and they say they want an amount of money and it only is 2 decimal places, if I click on that field because I'm going to not reimburse the entire amount that they've requested for, I will see 13 digits. And it used to be that most of them was zeros with the exception of the very last digit, but I am seeing other non-zero digits show up there. And I just want to make sure that that's not overlooked if you guys haven't already flagged it as something you're working on.
It's
Yeah.
something on the back end, Lisa, just that field for summing. So as long as you're not seeing when you're not editing it, that's okay.
Okay, so it isn't contributing to the numbers being off when it's doing the calculations for our summary reports. Because
No.
like last month, I went in and I looked at every one of ours was up like by $7.80, something like that. I went in every single record and I added up the information on every spending detail, and they matched the numbers on the subtotal and or totals. So there was nothing awry with those numbers, but our summary report still was not exactly correct. So I was, it still seems like $7.80 is too much given what I'm describing with those decimal points, but it did seem to be something else. And I'm happy to shoot those reports to you so you can see how I looked at it. But yeah, hopefully whatever it is can be identified.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Go ahead, Charlie.
Well, I would just say, please send a screenshot next time you're seeing all 13 of those decimals. I think we've had a couple in the past, but send a fresh one because I think we thought we resolved it possibly. So next time you're seeing those, please send a screenshot my way.
Okay, I will. Thanks.
There was a question in the chat about whether or not QI will be open in mid-June, as we've done in previous years, to begin the applications. That is definitely our goal.
Yeah, I met with the developer, our basic team about 3 weeks ago on that topic, Randy, and that is our hope. We have a few things to work out as far as closing out one fiscal year and opening up the new one, and that'll be a first. So bear with us on that, but that's our goal, is to have that open in June, as we have done in the past.
Any other questions, comments? All right. Well, I guess we'll close this out then. And yeah, I know we had a busy one last month. So this month we'll treat you back to an hour. Enjoy that springtime weather.
It's thunderstorming by me right now.
Ooh,
I know, it's kind of cool.
I like that. Thank you all so much for your hard work and dedication, and looking forward to seeing you all soon. Have a great weekend, and yeah, we'll send out the recording sometime in next week. Thanks, guys.